Okay, I'm gonna get started. So, to everyone that's here, thank you so much for coming. The purpose of this little info session is to just teach you a little bit more about USB, what we do, and also to talk a little bit about the recruitment process. So hopefully, as you may know, our applications are open right now. We are looking for new members to be added on at the end of this year. So we're first going to just go through what we do, what members do, what it means to be on USB. And then we're going to go on and have more like a question and answer session. If enough people come, we will split up into breakout rooms. If we're kind of at this number of people, we're just going to have questions with everyone here. And we do have a lot of USB members here to take whatever question you might want to ask. Okay. Okay, so this is our mission statement. It's kind of long, kind of wordy, so I'll read it through and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So the Computer Science Undergraduate Student Board, that's us, exists to promote a supportive and engaged community within Purdue's Computer Science Department and to use its relationship with faculty, the Computer Science Corporate Partners Program, and administration to advocate for the student body. So obviously this is a super general description of what we aim to do. Kind of the best way to really understand what we do is by looking at our initiatives. So USB is more or less made up of initiatives. These initiatives are completely student-led and are all created to address one or more problems in the CS department. Whenever I say CS department, that includes the majors of computer science and data science. So our initiatives generally fall into one of three categories, but don't have to. The first one is providing resources for CS and DS students. Second is to advocate for the student body. And the third is to build a supportive and engaged community within Purdue CS and DS. Okay, so we're just gonna go through our largest initiatives that are currently running. So for initiatives that deal with student resources and giving students kind of a better foothold within Purdue CS and DS, our biggest initiative for sure is CS 193, which is the tools course. I assume that everyone here has at some point taken this course. It's required for all freshmen who are going to go into computer science or data science. It basically teaches everything that you would need as a computer science or data science student that isn't already taught in our big classes such as CS 180, CS 240. So it goes over a lot more about terminal, Git, kind of collaborating with code and everything like that. We also have Help Room. So this is designed to give students a little bit more extra help with big classes like 180 and 240. So we do all the hiring processes with the TAs and also the logistics with assigning TAs to rooms and figuring out which classes kind of need more help. We also have our student wiki, which is hosted on our website. If you go to purdueusb.com/wiki, I think that brings you to the landing page. And this is basically like a database of articles that we maintain. Anyone can write an article for our wiki. And they're just aimed to kind of like help out our peers, give some information that might be helpful for other people in our major. Advocacy is also a really important part of USB. So our biggest advocacy event is Undergraduate Student Forum. So this is an event that precedes the Undergraduate Town Hall, which is the administration's event to kind of connect students with professors, faculty members. And the reason why we have this event is some students might not feel super comfortable bringing up their concerns directly to, say, like a professor or the department head, who's Dr. Prabhakar, something like that. So we give this event to kind of allow a more safe space for students to kind of air their concerns, talk about suggestions for the department. We kind of compile all the information and then present it at the actual town hall to administration. So this just gives a better outlet for students to be able to voice what they want to say without being worried about potentially some professors linking it to them or something like that. We also have office hours. So everyone in USB, all of our USB members have an hour of the week, around an hour, where they just basically have an open Zoom call. And then anyone can join the call, talk to them about any concerns they might have, basically anything they want to talk about. We can try to find a solution for them, try to connect them to the right faculty person, These are just ways that we want to help kind of connect students with administration, because we know that a lot of times it's really difficult to get your concerns with the department kind of aired out. And it's hard to know where to start looking for help. So we hope that these are some kind of starting points for people if they have a suggestion, a problem with the department as a whole. And then finally, we have community building. So we're all here. We're hope that we have a strong community here at Purdue within CS&TS. But we want to make a community that's not competitive, but supportive and engaging. So here are some initiatives that are kind of aimed to kind of help that community grow. The first is Club Hub. So this is kind of a joint effort within all of the CS organizations within Purdue. And we wanted to kind of be able to link together all the orgs, potentially create some joint events and make everyone's events more cohesive within the CS department. We also have various company events, and this really just depends on what a company is willing to do with us and what we're wanting at that time. In the past, we've done mock interviews with Yelp. We've done a puzzle challenge with Bloomberg. So it's all kinds of stuff that we can do with companies if they reach out or we reach out to them. And then finally is mentorship, which is a pretty new initiative. So we don't have a solid event that's going on with it yet. But basically the idea is to make more connections with underclassmen and upperclassmen. Especially now, it's really hard to kind of reach out to your peers. So we want this initiative to allow students to kind of connect with each other, even if they're in different years or different classes. And there's a lot more. So this list isn't all that USB has or is working on. We have a lot of other initiatives such as our tutor list, which is a list of active tutors that we maintain. We also used to do Cookie Drop. We unfortunately had to cancel that this year during COVID, where we literally just give freshman cookies, which is always very fun. USB members are also always encouraged to start a new initiative that they're passionate about. So it doesn't matter if something that you didn't see anything that you're really interested in that list. We're always open to starting something new with you guys. Okay, so now that you hopefully have a better idea about what USB does, here's kind of the sales pitch. So as I mentioned before, our applications are open. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about our interview process and what it means to be a USB member. Okay, so interview process, our written application is out now. It ends on Sunday, the 31st. So definitely if you haven't filled out your written application, go to purdueusb.com/apply. We'll have the link at the end again. Fill that out and definitely get your applications in before, obviously, the deadline. The decisions for the written application will be next week, so the first week of February. After that, if you make it past that first round, we're going to have spoken interviews. Obviously now they're all going to be virtual, so we'll likely just send out a Zoom link for you to meet up with your interviewer virtually. And that'll be the second week of February. That same week, we're also planning on having an optional social. So usually in past years, we've had the social at the bowling alley. Obviously, we can't do that now. So we're going to have some kind of game nights, just some sort of event that's a lot more casual, more social than the formal interview. And this event is completely optional. It will not affect the decision of your interview. We just want to give kind of an outlet for all the interviewees, just because we know that the interview process is or can be a little bit stressful. So we just wanted at least one fun thing to also just be able to talk to you normally, casually, which is always fun. And then after all this, after this entire process, the final decision should come out around the 17th of February. Okay, so responsibilities. So I wouldn't say that the responsibilities for USB members are super defined or there's no leeway in them. We do have a 1-hour weekly board meeting that is required. This is just a time where everyone can kind of check in with each other. We usually go through each initiative and check in on the initiative lead, ask them if there's any updates, if there's any problems, if they're hitting a roadblock. We'll discuss how we can get through that. Also, like if anyone has thought of a new idea during the week, this is the time to bring it up. This is definitely one of the most important times just for everyone to kind of check in with each other and make sure everyone's going the right track. And obviously we'll try to work with your schedule so you're able to make this 1 hour required meeting. For the rest of the time, you can work with USB. This really just depends on what you're working on. So every USB member is required to work on at least one initiative at a time, just so you're still like involved with what we're doing. But the time required for an initiative really varies. For example, CS 193, which is a big class for freshmen, it's obviously a pretty big task to kind of handle. It obviously has the largest team working on it, but just because you have like upwards of like 500 something students, it might take a little bit more time. On the other hand, there's other initiatives such as like the tutor list, which is maintained by us, but we don't do any interviews or anything. So it's primarily, it's like not super time intensive. So what that means is, say you're having a really rough semester and like you're taking a lot of hard classes and you can't focus as much time on work for USB, that's totally fine. Just choose an initiative that will fit with your schedule and it'll be totally fine. USB members also just have complete control on what initiative or initiatives they want to work on. We know that the work will always be better if you're happy where you're at, so you'll never be forced to work on a certain initiative. It's all going to be up to you. Okay, so what do we want? Obviously, like, we're not looking for a specific person or specific like features of a person. But generally, something we like to think about is not finding culture fit. I think a lot of times companies or orgs will say that, oh, we want someone to fit our culture. But for USB, that's not it. We want someone to add to our culture. And that means we want people with different experiences, different backgrounds. If you have a really cool interest in like something that's maybe non-traditional for a CS or DS major, that's awesome. If you have a cool experience maybe in high school or previous years of college, that's awesome. Like, we want to hear about that. It's also no secret that the CS department isn't super diverse, and that's obviously something we want to change. That's a big part of our community building. We don't just want to create like a supportive and engaged community. We want to create an inclusive community that's just as important as all other features. And the first step to that, obviously, is to have a board that is representative of that. So that's another thing, diverse backgrounds, which we're really looking at. Other than that, obviously, some kind of drive to make changes within the department is super helpful. Everyone has at least some grievances with either the classes or the department or something. What we want to see is someone that can recognize those problems and also like be able to take the first step to making a change or thinking of a solution. And we don't mean that we are expecting USB members to come in and start having billions of ideas on how to change every single problem they're seeing. It'll take a lot of work, and it's many times hard to work with the department with these things. We just need that initial motivation to see a problem and want to make a difference or want to make a change. And then finally, we just want a good team member. Pretty much everything in USB is team oriented. Every initiative has more than one person working on it. So we want someone with an open mind, who's ready to take criticism, who's ready to share their opinions, who's ready to like be happy working with us and have us happy to be working with them. And then I'm gonna have Ariana talk a little bit about kind of what USB has to offer to you.
Yeah, so there are a lot of reasons you might want to join USB, but one of the biggest ones is going to be, as Lauren talked about earlier, the initiatives that we run. So the initiatives that we run are already pretty well integrated into the CS department. So if you guys feel like you really want to be involved with them and you have experience with them, then getting on USB is a good way to get involved with those existing initiatives. And then, like Lauren also talked about, USB has a lot of resources that you can use to get your own initiative started as well. So if there's something within the department that you really hate and you want to change, or if there's something you're really passionate about within CS and you want to see represented here at Purdue, then getting on USB is kind of like a shortcut to get to making like some really significant change in the department. So USB basically can simplify like the process for you of creating something or like starting your initiative. So we have direct contact with the department faculty, which is really big. So for instance, we run the CS 193 class, and to do that, we have to interact directly with the faculty. So we have some like built-in relationships that you guys could take advantage of potentially as a USB member in order to get your own initiatives off the ground. And then obviously there are a lot of upperclassmen on USB as well. Right now, I think there's like 6 to 8 members of each class on USB right now. So there's a lot of experience that comes with that, and you can basically like walk into a USB meeting and bring up something like some idea that you have that isn't maybe fully put together yet, and you'll instantly get like a lot of feedback from experienced like members of CS or DS who can tell you their ideas for what you should do next or any contacts they have in the department. So you have access to a lot of basically experience with NCS and DS through those USB members. And then we also have those contacts with companies. Lauren talked about the company events we do. So if there's anything you want to do that might involve a company, or that you might want to use funding from a company or something like that, again, it's just those built-in relationships that we already have. So you wouldn't have to cold email someone. You could say, hi, I'm on USB, like we did such and such with you, and now I'd like to do something else. So there's a lot of contacts you get from being on USB, either with faculty or with companies and people outside of Purdue, that can help you make a really big difference within the department. And then also, you'll just get to work with a lot of cool people. You'll have people who you can talk to about your ideas and who can help you develop your ideas further. That includes people on USB, but also people off of USB. So those upperclassmen who are currently on the board can connect you with people within the department that they know that are passionate about the same things you are, just because we've been here for a while. So I know we are possibly talking to a lot of freshmen right now, and you guys might not know people within the department very well, or even within the major really well right now, because your first semester was online, and that could go for non-freshmen as well. So you have basically just a group of people who have been here for a while and can give you some advice about people within the department you might want to work with. Okay, and then finally, it's just a really good way to get involved in the CS department. So I got involved as a freshman, and I know that being on USB has made me feel like a much more integrated member of the CS department. And I definitely learned a lot about how the department operates and how to communicate with faculty, how to communicate with companies, that kind of thing. So you get a lot of really good experience from being on USB, but you also just kind of feel more like a member of the CS community, in my opinion, just because you just learn a lot and you get really involved with people in the department. So those are some reasons why you might want to join. And then you can ask the members here about why they joined as well and what they think the best reasons to be on USB are.
Norali, are you still here? Do you want to add something?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. So my name is Norali. I'm secretary of USB. I'm currently a sophomore in computer science, and I also joined as a freshman. I thought there was a lot of room for growth in the CS 193 class. And so while my initiative was kind of on hold because of the pandemic, we're still trying to kind of reconstruct that course. And so if you guys ever see that like the CS department has like room for growth somewhere, which I'm sure a lot of freshmen can like pinpoint pretty easily, I think this is a great club for you guys to join, because you have direct kind of like access to all the resources you might need to be able to like fulfill whatever dream you might have for the next set of freshmen that come in. Also, like Lauren and Ariana both touched on, we are trying to make CS more supportive and diverse and inclusive. And any of these three kind of like, if those are like some things that you want to bring into the computer science department at Purdue, then I really think that you should kind of put your foot forward with this application and do your best to join the board. Also, I do have to go, but I can put my email in the chat if you have any questions, like maybe what you might want to write about on your application, how to like talk, I don't know, anything you need. If you guys are freshmen, please don't be anxious or nervous for this. Like, we want to make the CS department better. That's why we exist. And so your opinion is like very valued, and we want to make this interview process as comfortable as possible.
Thanks, Norali. Does any other USB member want to chime in? If not, we're not going to use the breakout rooms just because we don't have that many people that I feel like we need to like split up. We're probably just going to have like a little info sesh or like a Q&A like right here. So before I go into that, also here's the application link. Any other USB member want to add anything? If not, okay. I am going to stop sharing my screen. You can find this link a lot of places on our Instagram, I think too. It's also pretty easy to remember. So if you need it again, let me know in the chat. We'll put it up again. There we go. Sure. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so since we don't have a lot of people here, we can just have it open to any questions. I would also like, can all the USB members first introduce themselves really short, say name, I guess we don't need major, actually no, say major, CS or DS. And then like when you join USB, and we can like popcorn it. So hi, I'm Lauren, I'm a senior in CS. I joined USB my freshman year, so it's been 3.5-ish years. And yeah, I will pass it on to Ariana.
Okay, I'm Ariana. I'm a sophomore in CS. No, I'm not. I'm a junior in CS. And I joined my freshman year, my second semester freshman year. So I'm also vice president, and I don't think I mentioned that earlier, so apologies. And I'll popcorn to Cindy.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I'm currently the treasurer for USB. I also joined USB during my freshman year. I can popcorn to Sarah.
Okay, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a junior in CS. I also joined my freshman year, and last semester I was one of the people running 193. I'll give it to Chris.
Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm a junior. I'm double majoring in DS and CS. I joined as a freshman as well. I'll popcorn over to Riley.
Hello, my name is Riley McKeever. I am a junior in CS, and I also joined my freshman year. I'll popcorn over to Caleb, who I think is the last one.
Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm a sophomore, and I joined second semester freshman year. I'm in computer science.